End of the video, some of you may say, hey Kiran, you forgot one important factor. No, I'm not forgetting that. That will be discussed in another context in another video. Let's jump into the topic. So the first factor. So can you imagine what might have happened in 1972 when Bobby Fischer won the World Chess Championship for America? Many parents might have been inspired to send their kids to chess coaching, chess competitions, and many communities might have also come together to organize these chess tournaments. So that is called the Bobby Fischer movement of chess for America. But Indo-American Spelling Bee competition has a Bobby Fischer movement. For me, that is Balu Natarajan movement in 1985. The first Indo-American National Spelling Bee champion, and again in 1988 Ragashri Ramachandran, and again in 1999 Nupur Lal. So this was happening between 1985 to 2000. But back home in India, what exactly was happening? 1985, around that time, computers were entering into India. 1991, a game changer for our economy. The economic reforms happened, and many of the people in middle class moved to upper middle class. And around 99 and 2000, there was a time of globalization. I can use the word massive migration happened around this time, like around 1995 to 2005. The massive migration, and most of these migration happened in science, engineering, and medical fields. So that segment of a community in any society will know the importance of education and emphasize on academia, as well as they also have access to all the resources. Not only that, they know how to utilize those resources. From 1985, since the time China joined this International Math Olympiad Championship, they clearly dominated the entire Math Olympiad, winning it 24 or 25 times. And China's Bobby Fischer movement was in 1989. They started participating in these competitions in 1985, and in 89 they won the world championship. So it might have inspired many millions of parents in China to send their kids to maths. And even if you look at some of the math Olympiad champions, some of them might be Chinese descent. So the point I'm trying to drive here is the role models set an example, and also the societies will and the communities will build something for them, and they will pick their niche. India picked the spelling, and the Chinese picked the math. The second factor, my favorite one, multilingualism in these countries. So culturally, both countries have a lot of similarities, particularly rich cultural heritage, and languages both are multilinguistic. China, there are like almost 250 to 280 dialects, and in India there is nearly 450 to 500 different languages. But there are some subtle differences in these multilingualism. Even though China is multilinguistic, there is a dominance of Mandarin dialect, whereas in India every region has its own dominant language. Then comes the most important aspect of multilingualism, how the societies evolved in these 1000 years. Between 12th to 16th century, there were no international math Olympiad championships. The only championship that everybody was practicing was wars. So it was a time of invasion everywhere in the world. And 12th to 16th century, there was a lot of invasion and pillages happened in India. But at the same time, cultural migrations from Turkish Sultans and also Persians migrated to India. So that brought the Persian language along with the biryani and samosa. Historians consider India or Indian subcontinent as more multilinguistic. And not only that, if you take the caste and the class levels of Indian communities, certain communities, the priest community was involved in chanting. Of course, Chinese also have chanting in Buddhism. In India, the Sanskrit language, there was a chanting of these shlokas from generations, like almost at least some families who are involved in this priest community, they have been chanting this. So that always have some epigenetic effect, even though there is no proper research on these issues. So I personally think, or at least I want to know from the internet, that these chanting in families and generations, in multiple generations, will have some effect on the memorization, cognitive effect of brain, as well as proclivity to master the language. Comes the important aspect of multilingualism and our Indian subcontinent. So between 17th to 19th century also, there were no math Olympiads or spelling bee championships. It was colonization and expansionism, and the Dutch French and the British were there. British defeated all these other colonies, and as well as the Mughals and Marathis. So they formed the British subcontinent. That's another way English entered into India compared to many other countries very early. My formal education was in my mother tongue Telugu, but for most of the people who migrate abroad, the formal education is in English, and some are even experts in the English language. So that was one of the advantage for American Indian parents compared to the Chinese counterparts. And whenever they say there is a competition in English, they can say immediately, let's go and give it a try. So that is one of the key differences in this multi-linguistic aspect, and why Indians can be dominating the spelling bee. The last and third factor, building institutes and communities. Some of you might have heard associations like North-South Foundation and South Asian Spelling Bee with the North-South Foundation. It was founded by Dr. Chituri, who also comes from the same place where I came from in India. The North-South Foundation was established in 1989, and since then it grew up into like 80 to 90 different state and regional chapters in United States of America. So basically what they do is they organize the competitions for Indian communities. They bring the society together. One of the parent of the kid should be Indian origin, and they organize different kinds of bees: spelling bee, vocabulary bee, science bee, math bee. So that's a different story, but they bring all these communities and they prepare the kids ahead of time for the competitions. And that's one of the things why the National Geography and Spelling Bee, both the kids are from the North-South Foundation for many years. I do not have any particular data on Chinese communities. They might have been more focusing on the math societies and also piano, one of the another area where Chinese kids are very strong, and most of the pianists from the world are from Chinese. So thinking and trying to understand various factors of the history, societal evolution, language, culture, and our connection with them, even though we have migrated to a different place, and how it is influencing the immigrant kids. When I was thinking about all these things, it appears so wonderful. So I felt I should share the compilation of my summary. And at the end I said, you will say, Kiran, you're forgetting one important thing. Yes, I know, culture and parenting. So I will come to talk about them in a different perspective in a different video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful time. It's just another day in paradise.